See how visiting Alicia Keys Myspace page could get your PC into big trouble. And it's not Alicia's fault. It's easy to miss the embedded fake codec software. There was a download in a media-rich site like this, and it's probably affected a number of other similar MySpace pages too. Here's what happened. In November 2007, some of our users started reporting that they were getting blocked when trying to go to MySpace pages, and we investigated a little bit. One of the more interesting pages was Alicia Keys' Myspace page. If you tried to visit that MySpace page with link scanner running, when you click the wrong part of the page, all of a sudden you get a block that pops up just like this. Trojan fake codec, and then another exploit tries to come in from a blocked site. We thought that was really interesting, so we thought we'd have a look and see what happened if you went to that page without link scanner installed. As you move the mouse cursor around, you might notice co8vd.cn pop up in the status bar. It really depends what part of the page you're pointing at. It turns out that that's the exploit site, although that wasn't really obvious at first. But if you did click in the wrong part of the page, instead of being taken to the video link that you thought you were going to go to, what you instead got was an attempt to get you to install an ActiveX control in order to view the video. It looked a bit like this. And anybody who watches our videos knows that that's very much a fake and a very dangerous thing. It's probably installing a rootkit and probably changing your DNS to point to their DNS. Very dangerous. And interestingly, if you were patched, you saw that, and if you're unpatched and not running link scanner, then in fact you saw a whole lot of software get installed. In fact, you wouldn't see it, but if you're running debug software, what this means is they're using an exploit to install software in the background, so they get you one way or the other. So next the issue becomes trying to figure out how they're doing it. And again, after we investigated for a while, we realized that co8vd.cn/s was the primary guilty party, and we went looking in the HTML source to figure out what was there, whether it was an iframe or just what it was. So this particular page has about 2,900 lines, and it seems to be just one line that's the problem. It's not an iframe, it's just an href. The interesting thing about it is the height being 8,000 pixels and the width being 1,000 pixels. What this means is, seemingly, that if you click anywhere outside a given control, that'll be the default control that it goes to. It's a really interesting technique, and it's going to catch a lot of people because this is a very media-rich page, as are most MySpace pages. There's every expectation that you're going to see a video. The fake codecs might not work too well if you're doing a text search and you're searching for some information and it wants to install an ActiveX control or a codec. Most people aren't going to buy into that. But when you're actually at some page where you're looking at a lot of video and a lot of shockwaves and a lot of content, it's not at all unreasonable to think that you might have to install something. They're bound to catch a lot of people with this one. The big question is how many other pages at MySpace have the same link. Googling for that reference shows at least a couple. We've seen a couple more personally, and the guys over at Sunbelt blogged about yet a different one. It's difficult to tell because Google, for some reason, doesn't seem to index that, and when you search MySpace for that reference, it doesn't seem to index it either. So we have no way of telling just how widespread it is, and also we don't know how they're getting it in the first place. We'll have to wait for MySpace to tell us, but it's very interesting stuff, and it'll catch a bunch of people.